Hey everyone, History Mystery Man here. It's good to see you again, and certainly great to be back in small town Orleans, Indiana, next to some long, tall Indiana corn. I just love it. It's absolutely beautiful. Anyway, the reason I'm back, somebody tipped me off on a gentleman who lives just outside of Orleans. His name is Greg Noble. He's lived here all his life. He's still here. He loves it here, wouldn't trade it for the world. I'm not sure he'd trade the collection either he has. It is the most fantastic, most incredible, most spectacular collection of Americana I've ever seen. American pickers, eat your heart out. Ah, this is some grand entrance. Someone said I needed to, someone watched my last video and said, hey, you need to check in with Greg Noble. So I called the guy and we're gonna go visit. Small town, rural America. I think I'm about ready to enter an American picker's paradise. Sweet. Not only is it American picker's paradise, it's just plain beautiful. Hey, Greg. Are you Greg?
No, he's inside.
Oh, is he? Okay. The official fuel of NASCAR. Is this the office of Greg Noble?
Yes.
Wow. Sweet. Just need to find Greg Noble. Look at this place. Ooh, beautiful. Wow. Greg.
Oh, hi there.
I find it. That's sweet.
49.
Yeah, that's a 49? Wow. So cool. I'm getting the feeling you are a collector.
Oh, I guess, yeah.
What would you call it?
Crazy.
Crazy, okay. A crazy collector, that's even better. What got you interested in collecting things, especially such interesting things?
Tall, collecting rocks.
Right, it started with
I
rocks.
was thinking about, you notice all the rocks around the house?
I sure did. I did.
I never quit collecting rocks. But I think that might have been first. Maybe moved on to bugs and
From rocks?
original paint stuff. So you notice this is crusty, rusty, you know.
I like the crusty, rusty look.
That Corvette's original paint. My motorcycles are all original paint.
That's original paint?
Original paint. Original
What year is that Corvette?
63 split window.
That's a beauty.
Yeah.
I like the original paint.
Yeah, that's, I think the only thing in here painted
It
is,
makes it real.
that's my wife's 66 Cadillac.
66 Cadillac?
We painted that.
Did you buy that from Elvis? Huh? Oh, that was the pink Cadillac, I guess.
This is original paint. Everything else is original paint.
I think you told me on the phone you're 61?
61.
And I'm 60, and I love collecting autographs of, you name it, whether it be Abraham Lincoln or Theodore Roosevelt or whoever it may be. And then I came to the conclusion that, okay, so I'm 60, why am I collecting this stuff and who am I collecting it for? Do you think about that? Like, has there come a point when you say, okay, stop, what are you going to do with it all?
All the time.
Okay.
All the time. It never leaves my mind, I don't think. But yeah, I do think about it a lot. And I've sold some stuff, but every time I sell, I sell one and I buy back 3, it seems like. So that's not been successful. I sold, I think, 14 motorcycles. And so I thought I was going to downsize, but that didn't work out so good. So here we are. But anyway.
You kept coming back to Orleans, Indiana. There's apparently some magic to this little itty bitty small town that works for you. Can you help pinpoint it?
Yeah, and so what I think really made me appreciate Orleans was being other places. And I did 3 years in the Atlanta area. And yeah, and it really did, and it was pretty much a solid 3 years. Just came back here to visit, even though my family was still.
Because there's no traffic in Atlanta.
No, very little. So, and I've looked at Orleans in this area different ever since. I really have. It really made me appreciate it, that much more. And yeah, Orleans is just a great.
Could you see yourself like moving away, or I mean, you're here to stay.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Not in a million years. Yeah. No.
It is a beautiful area, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, it really is. Yeah, and we go, we travel, and we go other places, but we're often reminded, we come back here and we take a Jeep ride through the country or one of these old junkers, and my wife and I, and we'll say, my gosh, this is about good as it gets.
I was telling you on the way in that Route 60 in between here and Salem was closed, so I had to double back, and my phone routed me through these little skinny, twisty, windy farm roads, and I was kind of glad I got rerouted because it was beautiful. It was like a little adventure on the way in.
Yeah.
I couldn't retrace it in a million years, but man, was it neat.
Yeah, I know where you was at, it is neat out there. It really is. We was riding around last weekend in the Jeep, and some people probably say, what's wrong with you, but we was literally in a tunnel of corn. There's corn on each side, and it's 10 feet tall.
I love that.
And we said, wow, this is so cool.
It is.
And I've seen it all my life, and last weekend I rode through it and said, wow, I love this.
Oh, you're the tour guide.
Okay, this is a 65 Chevy pickup, original paint. This is a 53 Pontiac.
53
Sometimes I'll leave
53 Pontiac. It looks like original paint, yes?
Yeah.
I like it.
I wish we put a big
That's
motor in
not original.
That's not Grandpa's motor, no.
That's not the flathead Ford, even though this
So,
isn't a Ford. What is it?
No, it's a Pontiac.
Pontiac, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can see it.
That is cool, though. Who chooses the value on this? Is it the insurance company, or how do you come up with a number?
So the company I'm with has what they call an agreed stated value. So I and the construction company, we send them pictures, we tell them what it is, and when I say, I think it's $80,000, and they say, yeah, we agree with that.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. So
Yeah, gotcha.
And that's
gotcha.
kind of that's the trend in that market today. This is a 65 El Camino.
65 El Camino.
It's original paint. So look back here, you see the scratches. So this was owned by a guy that owned an oil distributorship. So my guess is that's belt buckles reaching in to get Chase's oil.
Yeah.
So and to me that's cool.
I'm buying that.
Tell the story, So motorcycles, I had a lot more than this at one time, but I'm down to a few. But that's original paint. That's a 49. So that'd be the first year of the hydraulic front end panhead. Original paint. That's a 48. So that's the last year for the Springer fork, first year for the panhead motor, original paint. And this is a 47, so this is last year for the knucklehead. This is the one I ride the most. I ride them all, but I ride this the most. This is a 1940 45 cubic inch. There's only 562 made this year. And that's a one-year-only color, squadron gray they called it. This is a 53 Hummer. So it's a 165cc, it's kind of their entry level back in the day. It's original paint, 3,000 miles. This motorcycle has been restored. This is a 61 BMW R90S, so it's the first year for the 90s.
Hey, Greg, you called this sign a toughie. What do you mean by that?
Just really rare, hard to get.
Rare, hard to get. You said this one's from the 1920s?
All three of these. These were
Really?
these came from the same dealer. And so that's called smolts. And a lot of people call it sand paint, and that's not really correct. You see how it kind of glistens? It's reflective. That's glass. That's crushed glass in the paint.
Wow.
And so they put that on there, and then so at night the lights shined on it. Lit up.
So
I've had every sign listed with the value current, what I feel is the current value today. But what I insure is the total value.
Have the American pickers, Mike Wolf, have they ever showed an interest in what you have here? I mean, it really is remarkable.
No,
and it's not just picking through an old barn of junk. This is quality stuff.
Yeah. I used to know Mike a little back in the day. Well, I say back in the day, just before he was famous, I guess. We belonged to the same antique motorcycle club, and so it's kind of a small group, really. And so I travel around the country, and he'd travel around the country, obviously. And I bought a few things from him, and a good guy, a real true enthusiast, and a good guy. So he's done well, and good for him.
Yeah, we have some similarities, myself and Mike, in that I know he loves small town America.
He does.
And so do I. And the only real difference is that he turned it into a major league success. I'm still huffing and puffing down the highway trying to make $10, but
He worked hard on that.
I know he did, and I admire him greatly for
I
it.
do too. I do as well. You know, I remember he was working hard to sell me a thermometer for $200, you know, and make
Well,
money,
I tell you
so
what,
good for him.
I'm not giving up on the history mystery man yet
There you go.
either.
There you
I'm
go.
staying. I'm in this for good here.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
I'm gonna play Mike Wolf here. I'll give you. Let's see. I'm gonna put a number on this, Mr. Noble. I'm thinking I'm going to give you 1.2 million. Can I take it all with me today?
No, I won't get it.
Oh.
You're getting close on the signs.
I'm are you kidding me? On the signs alone? Wow.
It's more than that. But,
Okay.
But now you've not seen all the signs either. I've got another building with.
Oh boy. Okay, now I want to trade you 10 million and see if I can get out the door with my hide.
Now,
And this is what I love so much about all your collectibles. Now you've got the hometown flavor because you're telling me everything on this wall is from Orleans.
yes, Orleans Lumber Company became Kirby Hardware. But, you know, Orleans Lumber. Right
Oh, okay, Orleans.
Yeah.
That became
Kirby
Kirby's
Hardware.
I went in
Yeah.
Kirby's Hardware.
Okay,
I
yeah.
talked to the guy.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to.
They're all. This is Orleans. It's an old churn can from Orleans, Producer's Dairy.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Middleton's
Yeah.
of Orleans. That's where your dad. That was the Chevy
Here's
dealership.
the theater in Orleans. This was one of their bills. So there told you what
That's-
movies were
oh,
playing at
okay.
the time.
That's really
That's kinda
neat.
cool.
The theater
Yeah.
is long gone.
Long gone, it burned.
Oh,
Here's,
okay. Was it in downtown? Like,
was, on
oh,
Square.
do you and you remember it or
Absolutely, went there a lot. There's my dad.
really?
Uh-huh.
Right there.
Yeah, so that's 1965, which was the successful centennial year. 150 when Orleans is 150 years old. That's the owner, Paul Middleton. That's where the new car wash is, right across from the library. That's where that was at.
You know what this is? This isn't a messy barn for American pickers. This is a museum. It's fascinating.
At 5, I would have been 6 years old. So like this sign right here that you could probably barely make out, that is the same as that sign right there.
That sign is the
That sign
same as.
that sign. That used cars, okay.
I gotta go capture that.
Yeah.
And do you ever come out here by yourself and just kind of wander around and look, reflect, and all that jazz?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. I can come out here or the other building and literally spend hours by myself, just looking. Yeah.
Yeah.
It never ever gets old to me. It never does.
Is it hard for you to sell anything, even if it's one little piece? Is it hard to part with?
Yeah, I rarely sell. The only time I sell is to upgrade. I did sell those motorcycles. Like I said, we was selling our home, and you know, I thought I needed to scale down. And
It must have some effect on you when you sell something because you said sell one thing and you gotta go buy 3 more.
yeah,
So
that's right. Yeah. So anything, you know, Harley Davidson, General Motors, Pontiac, you know, Hurst shifters, Goodyear. It's all stuff that I remember growing up, going through.
So you're
My
not
life.
just buying old stuff wherever you find it. You're buying old stuff you have an attachment
That
to.
means something to
That
me.
yeah,
Means something. to
that
me. Yeah.
makes this even more interesting.
Yeah, I love it. So.
Well, I hate being the guy that asks the same old question that everyone else did. I'll have to come up with something different, like, who shot Alexander Hamilton? Huh? Have you heard that one yet, mister?
I have.
You have? Do you know the answer?
No.
Okay. All right. I was hoping I'd get there. All right. Well, I want to see your other building.
Okay. At home in my dad's office. There's a Chevrolet from.
Hang on. Don't say don't say a thing here.
Okay.
Don't say a thing. Don't say a thing. That is the grid start shot of the 1967 Indianapolis
That's
500.
correct.
Am I correct?
You are correct.
All right.
Jay Foyt on
Hey,
the pole.
and I know
Harley
that
Jones
because that
driving
was
the turbine car.
the Whooshmobile.
Yep,
That he won the Indianapolis 497. It crapped out with like 2 laps to go. Yeah, I'm a big Indy 500 fan.
Have you read Black Sunday?
Oh, are you talking Winchester Speedway?
No.
Okay.
An Indy 500 book about 60, I believe it was 61 race when Eddie Sachs was killed.
That would have been 1964.
64, okay.
Oh, yep.
So it's called Black Sunday, I believe it is.
I have not read that.
You've got to.
Well, that was a terrible accident on the first lap of the 64 Indy 500.
Yes,
It
yes.
took the life of Eddie Sachs and Dave McDonald.
And David, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah. Eddie Sachs used to race a lot at Salem Speedway.
That's right, yeah.
And,
I used to see them a lot.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, he used to. A friend of mine, Jack Bills, a 94-year-old World War II veteran from Salem, still alive. I just interviewed him.
Wow.
Eddie Sachs would always stay with him when they would come to Salem.
Wow.
And the first question Eddie Sachs would have was, he wanted the fast track to all the local chicks, man.
That's what I've always heard.
That's so funny. Yeah.
You would love this book.
I'm sure I would. I'm sweet.
I
Is
love
that
Platt Lane stuff.
Andy Linden? Yeah, I know that name. He was an Indy 500 star back in the day. Oh wow, man, this is to me this is my American picker stuff.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that USAC sprint car race lineup.
AJ Foyt,
Amen.
Houston, Texas.
Foyt. Wow. Ed Elysian died at Milwaukee. Don Branson died at Ascot Park in 1966. But if there's one thing missing from your collection, it would be like a 1955 Curtis Craft Indianapolis 500 Roadster or an early 60s A.J. Watson Roadster.
Now, that'd be pretty cool.
Now, those were the most beautiful race cars on earth. Yeah, there's that. You said that's a 50 who? 59. Those were my favorite years of Corvettes, the 50s. Just, I don't know, the round features and such.
I love the round.
They're just, oh God, it's just beautiful. And that interior is spectacular. Oh Lord. I don't want all your secrets, but could you just give me a clue as to what something like that's worth? Or I don't want to get, if it's personal, I understand, but I mean, if you had to put value on it, or what would you?
It's insured for $175,000.
Wow, holy moly, just this car.
What I enjoy doing is improving the land, trying to make it better,
I'd say I like the way you've improved this. And those are your barns way out yonder, right?
Out there are ours too, yeah. Yeah, that barn you see over there, that's our kind of cattle barn, we call it. There.
I was asking if you would ever want to go anywhere else. I mean, on the property you are, who would want to ever go anywhere else? I mean,
Thank you.
oh my gosh, this is beautiful.
So
Look at that.
it's not as beautiful as I want it to be until it gets full, but
I mean,
2 foot below
you
top
said
of the rocks.
you built this pond.
I did.
Well, I love the way you laid out all the stone.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. So you built the pond. Does that mean you actually stacked all this stone around here?
We did, yes.
Wow.
float in the winter.
Oh my gosh. Is this the basketball court or what? Look at this.
For my grandkids. I
Oh,
have a grandson
Lord.
that he's pretty good at basketball.
It could be heavy. Okay, now I'm starting to get it now, Greg. And I'm ashamed of myself. I feel terrible when I threw out that 1.2 million number right off the bat. I feel horrible. It's embarrassing. Way off the mark. Gosh, this is unbelievable. I mean, has anyone done anything on this? Local TV station, the Today Show, PBS, the Discovery Channel, the Travel Channel? No one?
No.
Just the History Mystery Man. I finally got one here. Is what I did.
I guess.
It's just amazing all the pieces you have, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, and every one of them is somehow purchased through an attachment, whether it goes back to your childhood or Orleans or it really just makes the whole collection even more personal and more interesting.
Orleans Farm Supply.
Yeah, Orleans Farm and Supply.
That was downtown.
Now, is this is not a John Deere, or is that
That's an Oliver.
Oliver?
Yeah, it's an Oliver.
Now, I love this. Pappy's Speed Shop, Orleans, Indiana.
My grandkids call me Pappy, so obviously that's it's just something we made up.
That you made that up. That's okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, Chevy van.
65.
Original motor.
Yeah, altered.
Were the motors in the front on these, not like the V-dubs? Oh, right, you're sitting between it. Is that where it was way back when,
Oh, yeah.
too?
Yeah, that's it.
That's a straight
is the original
six,
motor.
right?
Yes. You know, we put a 2-carb intake and it's the original motor and with, you know.
Do you ever drive this thing?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Gosh, it's cool.
Yeah, I think
I love it. Is it the 3 on the tree?
It is.
Oh, man. I want to be on that tree.
Yeah.
I learned how to drive in a 3 on the tree. I love it. I want to hang out with you for a day and just like drink Stroh's beer or something. I don't know. And just tell me your stories. Tell me your stories, Pappy. Happy Pappy. So I'm seeing what? 5 John Deere tractors with a 530 on the way?
Yeah, the 5.
What-
I own it.
It's just not here
It's
yet.
at a friend's getting.
That's really interesting. Do they all run?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, we run them all.
Awesome. And you know what I like? I'm a big small town America guy, but this is 100% Americana.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. I mean, these aren't pieces and parts that came from China.
No. No.
This is Americana, which is really the story of small town America, is the story of Americana. America was born in small town America, and you have it here 100%. Greg, coming in on these little skinny, windy farm roads coming into Orleans today, and specifically right around you, I noticed there's a huge population of Amish in your hood.
There is.
How are they for neighbors? I mean, first of all, their lifestyle really interests me. I admire them.
Yeah.
How are they having for neighbors?
They remind me every day of how weak I am.
Putting up a pole barn in 6 hours?
They work hard. When I think I've worked hard, worked all day, I go past them and they're still at it, you know. They're good people. I have a lot of Amish friends. Most all of them are friends. I call them friends. And it's really handy because, you know, you go, we have a garden, a small garden, my wife does, but it's hard to have a big garden anymore because you just run down the road here and get some tomatoes or sweet corn or whatever it is you need. And, you know, they have woodworking shops. And in my office, you saw a hickory desk that an Amish friend made that for me. That shuffleboard table I had, same Amish friend made that for me. We had an Amishman that helped me with all this wood. This is poplar wood on here. And their techniques are good. And so, yeah, they're fun neighbors. They really are.
I believe it.
Dodge some horse manures. You're driving down the road. That's probably
If that's the least of your worries with a neighbor, I'm way good with that.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. And,
I do want to thank you, Greg, for taking me in today and showing me around and putting up the hospitality. I'm really super grateful, and your collection here is beyond spectacular. I don't think there's a word in the dictionary yet for it, but maybe I'll start working on one. But I thank you so much for having me today.
we appreciate you coming and having an interest. It's how what I've learned is how I enjoy it because I got to relive it
Share
all
it.
again, taking you through it. So that's honestly the best part. I do like coming out here by myself, standing and looking, but probably the best part is when someone like yourself has a true interest and enjoys seeing it.
I look at this sign, one of a gazillion here. It's all dinged and rusted up, and you haven't bothered to repaint it because that would take away its authenticity.
That's right.
So, I mean, I look at what are we looking at here? How much is that worth? What? Just that sign, that one sign.
That sign's probably $1,000 sign
You got to be kidding me! $1,000? Wow.
in the last few years.
Why is that?
I don't
Why is the value going up on all these
And
signs?
I thought it insane for several years now. And I thought, well, boy, this is going to top out. And I think that it's a connection. You know, when you collect cars and motorcycles and trucks, it takes up a lot of room. You got to keep them running. You got to do maintenance.
Signs are easy.
Sign, you slap it on the wall. And you see my cars, my trucks, my motorcycles. I can tell you that I enjoy the signs as much as I like those. Now, I guess I would always want to keep something to drive around on, you know, but.
Maintenance free,
It's
the
nice,
sign.
just screw it to the wall and there it is. And one night I was sitting in my garage, like we've been talking about today, drinking a beer, just looking around. And what I realized was that inside, that feeling that I got, it didn't change from looking at that to looking at this. You know what I'm saying? 100,000, 10,000, then butterflies inside me.
They
doesn't
both
know the difference.
got your guts a
And
churning.
triggered, yeah, whatever.
I got the feeling you wouldn't trade Orleans for just about anything. Why would you?
I feel very blessed. I mean, just very blessed.
You really are.
Yeah,
But you know
to
that.
grow up here, you know, great parents, great town, great friends. Just doesn't get any better.
Orleans, Indiana, you rock.